Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any of our platforms. Please reach out to me directly. I am tmosso@thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details. Today we are discussing a watch launched in 2022. This is the Grand Seiko Spring Drive SBGA465 Morning Frost Dial. So the watch, which is part of the Heritage Collection, features a 40mm case. It is 12.7mm thick, 46.2 millimeters from lug tip to lug tip. If we include the end link of the bracelet on each side, then the total distance across the wrist is 49 millimeters, and we have a 20 millimeter spacing between the lugs. Now the watch wears nicely on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist. 40 millimeters is a sweet spot for a modern men's all-arounder, and that's what this watch is. Not a sports watch, not a dress watch. It's got a little bit of both, and so it's very versatile. As you can see, pretty flat. Being only 12.7 millimeters, it will slide underneath the cuff. Now, end link to end link, it's fairly broad across the wrist, but you can see from this down the barrel view that the end links are not out over the edge of my wrist. So I believe you could wear this watch on the bracelet on a wrist as small as 15 centimeters circumference. If you were to put it on a strap, I think you could wear it on a wrist as small as 14 centimeters circumference. And you can really see from over the top that although the end links are out to the edge of my wrist, the lugs of the case are not, which is why I think with a strap, this would wear even smaller than it does. There's your distance shot. The bracelet, a 3-link design with a conforming end link to better mate it to the case. There's a little bit of taper down from the end link towards the bracelet. We have polished outer faces and a little rolled shoulder bevel there. Grand Seiko titanium bracelets use pin sleeves, but steel bracelets like this one use sizing screws for removable links. So you just remove the link and you size it up. There is an irregular sized link on each side. It's an intermediate size in case you find yourself in between sizes with the primary links. We have a thick gauge steel single swing arm which incorporates elements of polish and satin internally. And then externally we have a combination of raised polished relief, media blast, and then surrounding that satination we have twin trigger release so it can't pop open inadvertently. We have a beautiful case that features polish crafted by Grand Seiko's Zaratsu style. Zaratsu is a craft that takes about 3 years to learn. It involves eye-hand coordination and craft knowledge. You hold the surface to be polished against a spinning tin plate, which requires a delicate touch but also a firm hand because the case can go flying. This Zalitz machine polishing method, although invented in Europe, is practiced in Japan to the extent that I would say today the foremost practitioner of this mirror polishing technique are the folks at Grand Seiko. As a result, this is a watch priced in the mainstream luxury category, but with horlogerie hand finishing externally. There are not too many Swiss watches in this price point that are hand finished. Taking a quick look at the crown, it is a screw down. The watch has a screwed in case back. It is 100 meters water resistant, which is why I say this watch is fairly sporty, but the absence of lume on the dial means it's more of an all-arounder than a true sports watch. The bezel is conical in profile with a short vertical outer lip, then the conical portion polished, and then a little flat adjacent to the sapphire. The dial is the shiny painting or kirazuri style that Grand Seiko first introduced to the market on the 2018 US boutique limited editions. So kirazuri or shiny painting is a traditional craft art that inspires this dial, and then it's also inspired by the natural beauty of Japan. As near the Shinshu Watch Studio, the Morning Frost outside the offices looks a lot like this dial, and that was the inspiration. This is the Morning Frost Kirazuri dial. Grand Seiko dial furniture, in my estimation, is co-equally best in the industry alongside Rolex. And I'll also be honest about this, Grand Seiko dials are more extensively handcrafted than those of Rolex. While Rolex has nailed scientific uniformity and consistency, Grand Seiko has a lot of hand craftsmanship, as all of these little pieces of dial furniture have been faceted and mirror polished by hand. They twinkle like cut gems. Their facets are razor sharp and precise, and you can see the mirror polishing is as fine as you'll see on any Romain Gaultier movement, only this is on a dial, and as I say, you can't wear them upside down. This is where you want the fine finish. These pieces are then placed and caulked by hand on the dial, and the folks who create these little parts, like those razor-bladed hands at center, they are folks who only work on these parts all day long. It is a very specialized trade. We have the smooth glide of the spring drive seconds hand. Spring drive All the energy comes from a spring. There are no batteries, no capacitors, there are no motors. The spring drives a governing wheel, which creates an induced electric current that wakes up a quartz oscillator that in turn applies an electromagnetic back force or braking force to the governing wheel, which in turn is geared to the hands. So you have a quartz timing circuit, and you have a perfectly smooth glide because the governing wheel is unidirectional. It's not like a Swiss lever escapement with a balance bouncing back and forth. This is a purely smooth glide that's distinctive of spring drive. And it took a long time to create automatic spring drive. It took from 1977 to 2005 to bring it to market. It is mechanical in its operation, but also quartz in its precision. So a chronometer, mechanical, is -4 + 6 seconds per 24 hours. This watch is accurate to 15 seconds a month. Now, it's a 3-day power reserve, automatic winding. It's got a power reserve indicator over there at 7 o'clock. We do have a hacking or stop seconds function, so you can stop the 30 joule movement. The 9R65 movement also includes a quick set date. Spring drive is watchmaker built, watchmaker adjusted, and when the time comes, watchmaker serviced. It is a lifetime movement, not just for the lifetime of the owner, but for the lifetime of the watch. Spring drive, like a mechanical movement, is designed to be generational and to go the distance. And again, the watch has a solid case back, so you can't quite see the movement, but you see that vintage Grand Seiko logo on the back, and it is 100 meters water resistant and quite thin, all considered. We do have little strap tool holes in the lugs. That's the last thing I want to shout out, because Grand Seiko is one of the few mainstream luxury brands that still encourages you to strap swap, and they have many OEM options available, but above all, they make it easy to do with the standard strap tool with those little lug perforations. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.